Welcome to the PowerPoint overview. So I'm trying something a little different now. I'm doing the screen capture and the webcam thing. I'm not sure how much I'm going to like this, but we'll give it a shot. So what I'm going to do today is teach you how to use PowerPoint, or at least some of the basics of PowerPoint. You might want to skip this video if you're already familiar with all this and you're pretty comfortable with PowerPoint. Or, this video might be good just as a refresher or just to pick up on a few things you haven't picked up on before. But what I'm going to do is, if you look over here, just how to, add and, change the layout of your slides, play with the colors, the fonts, make things look nice. Excuse me, make things look good like that. The second PowerPoint is where I'm going to do all the multimedia stuff, all the requirements for the PowerPoint presentation, including, how to add the hyperlinks, photos, and videos. Those are some of the things you have to add. So let's begin. So I figured I need some sort of goal here, so I'm just going to basically pretend I'm doing like a lesson, and I guess my lesson will be circuits since that's what I'm doing right now. So okay, a few things is this is the 2013 version, so it might be a little different if you have 2010 or a little younger version, but more or less is pretty much the same. So if I want to add a slide, there's this button that says new slide, and it does that. I usually right click and then press new slide. That works. That gives you new slides, as you can see here. And of course, where you want to select your new slide, you click your mouse. You see how that red line kind of shows up right there. That's where your new slide will be added. New slide. It's usually what I do. You could do the section thing. You don't really need to do this, but you can do that. You can rename section, all that stuff. I'm going to remove that section and just do it like this. So, that's how you add a slide, okay? Something you could do, which is really helpful, is if you right-click on the slide, so that's what I'm doing right here, is right-clicking on the slide, and I can change the layout of my slide. So there is, some benefits of doing this. Number one, a title slide is good, especially for a presentation. So, if you're teaching a lesson or doing a presentation, I'll go circuits introduction. And, it's nice to write down your name, the day. This is March 27th, I suppose. And, whatever you want there. You could play with this, too. I know this kind of annoys me in a sense, so you could always click with, if you look up here where my mouse is, the alignment left, right, etc. You can make things bigger with this arrow, smaller with this arrow. I like to bold it up, and then you could actually change, if you go to drawing format, you could change a lot of things, including for instance, like these, you got some wacky things going on here if you want to be a little more creative. That one's kind of cool. Maybe this one. And then you could change the text fill. I kind of like it. What was it before? No fill. No. Anyway, you can get kind of crazy with this stuff, right? Change the outline color, whatever you need to do with that. I think I'll stick with that. So you could change the fill of this area. That's what this does. You can see that. If you want it to stand out or make it look good. Now, general rule of PowerPoints is you don't really want to make things hard to read, so try not to use colors that like yellow or red. Those are really kind of tough colors to read. And then there is alignment. You can have it centered, aligned. If you hold this down, then you could do like a top alignment, and this will move your box like that, but it's up to you. So, as any Word document, you can make these bigger, smaller. Calibri Light seems to be the trend. It's the easiest to read. Problem with all these fonts, although some do look cool, are actually kind of hard to read. So when you're doing a PowerPoint, even though they might look fun, try to like something like this. It's kind of hard from far away to read. So you want to actually stick to something that's a little straightforward, which happens to be like Arial is a good one. Just easy to read from far away. Like these are like too much, too much. These like handwriting script. But I think right now my current favorite is Calibri Light. Just because it's just clean looking, it's easy to use. Like that. So the other layouts, just to show you, I'll pretend that goes right there, right? And the objectives. So let me change the layout of this slide. So these are good for other things too. You have a section header, title only. You know, I like to use this one a lot too when I'm comparing two things. This one's good with the video caption if you want, or just simply blank. But usually it's going to default to using, you know, this. What you could do too is, especially if you have a lot of things that are pretty common, is you can head them, you know, circuits intro. You know, basics of circuits. So, you know, having that there is kind of nice, and I like to underline things just because it looks a little better. And I could do that by doing Control U to underline. That's a quick, you know, quick way to do that. So let's see what else we got here. So some other things you might want to do or think about with your slides to make them look a little more professional is take a look at, you know, design. That these, you know, these are nice, but you know, sometimes it's too much. Although you could play around with these. It just, you know, it's nice. It makes everything look consistent. You know, I'm not really a big fan of these because I think they're more distracting, but if you feel like you want to use one, that's totally fine too. They're actually a lot better than they used to be. Oh, that one's really fancy, right? So, but the problem is you can see it right away, you know, like this is kind of, you know, I find this like really dark. But anyway, you can go to design and you can pick out one of these. You can create your own if you want to go through the time of doing that, but of course that means you have to take up time to do that. I'm going to make it a little lighter. Actually, I like the purples. So stuff like that. Of course, this would have to change to make it fit. Anyway, so, you know, I guess I'll leave it like this for now. So how to, you know, number and label your slideshow, that's a really, really useful, you know, piece of information. So if you go to the Insert button right here, you can go all the way over here in this text area, and you can go to the date and time, and this will automatically do it, which is really nice. It's nice to add a slide number, and if you want to do a footer, you know, you could say, I don't know, Phys 103 circuits, you know. Again, I'm not doing anything in particular. And you could just apply to one or apply to all, but that usually just makes it pretty professional. Something else that's really helpful too is you can actually add a header if you want, which makes it really nice and professional. Circuits, like physics circuits. Footer, Nicole Carnucci. Apply to all. Now, what that's going to do is when you eventually, if you wanted to print these out, it will have those headers. So if you go to View, and then you go to Master Handout Notes, it tells you, see, you get your Phys circuits, Nicole Carnucci. So if you wanted to print them out, you know, that's a really cool feature. To get out of this view, because it's, you know, not what you want to be in, you can exit by clicking that red button right there. Let's see. Let's remember what I'm doing. So how to number slides, and all that stuff. So let's see. So another thing you might want to do is, you know, for instance, maybe you want these to all come up at, you know, the click of a button. So you want to add an animation. So just a word of advice, you know, don't go too crazy with animations because they can be distracting. But, you know, if you want to add a little bit, or you want to talk about, you know, each of these points like one by one instead of having them all up here, you know, that's something you could do. So to do that, you go to the animations one right here. And what you could do is, you know, I personally, first of all, you have to click on the whole box. So notice that it's not the dotted, it's the solid. And then we're going to add an animation. Now they have some quick picks right here, but these are usually better. But even better is to take a look at the more effects, because then they just have a list. And if you click on any of these, they will give you a quick preview of what it is. Beacon, random bars. Some of my personal favorites, which are just good, is the fade. It's just, you know, a little subtle, just nice and easy. The zoom, I like the fade, that's my favorite. Swivel, see, this gets too much. These get too crazy, I think, but you know, that's my personal preference. See how long that one takes. So a nice fade, nice and subtle, like that. So if you want to, so right now I added that. What you can do is go to the animation pane, and what they have here, oops, I moved my guy right there, is now you see that this is the title and this is the order at which all these things are going to play. So if you want these to play in sequential order, I would just highlight all of these, add animation. Let's do the fly-in. Notice the way it's listed right now, it's all under 2, which means it's all going to happen at the same time. So if you play, play all, that's how it's going to look. But if you want them one by one, you highlight all of them, or right click on each of them, you can say start unclick. Notice that now this changed to a 3. So when you do it, the next one only comes on, these come on after the click. So if I go to slideshow from current slide, click, click, click. So 1, 2, 3. Press escape to get out of this. Now if I want it even more specific, I can add right click to all of them so they all come in separately, which could be handy. Or maybe you don't want to do that. Say you just want the last 2 to come up with the other ones, so with previous. And that allows, the effect of what we just kind of saw. So click, click, these all come up at the same time. So that's something you could do with that. You can have them exit too. My time's ending soon. So say you want, these 2 to go away after they, actually let's make these all start on click. Say you want these 2 to leave. So to do that, you go back to animations, you go to add animation, and then you have an exit one. So just like before, you could go to more effects, more exit effects, so you can see what happens. Let's do that one. Okay. So notice that after I click everything, then that last time I clicked, number 7, all 3 of those will go away. So you'll see click, 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 click. Okay, so, and then boom. So I had them all here, and now I can make them all go away. So the exit's pretty cool. You could also do, maybe you want this one bold. Go to animations, add animations, and then you got emphasis. So emphasis doesn't do anything, it just makes your word stand out, which is pretty cool. So those are some things. I personally like the bold. So let's add that one. And let's say I want that to bold up after we talk about it. So you can move these in any order by clicking and dragging these. So let's try it. So here's a bunch of animations you can do. So here we go. Basics of PowerPoint, layouts. Oops, there it was. See? Layout. If I click again, oh, it bolded really quick. Usually doesn't do it that quickly, but you could see the effect more or less like that. So animations are a way to, go through your slides. So if you notice, sometimes it's nice to have a few of the animations as you do this. So this will be the end of the first video. Let's see, talked about all these things, animations. I'll talk about slide transitions in the next video. I just don't want to rush this, so video 1 over. Hope this helped. As always, save your work. Let's save this as part of my tech lecture. I'll call it Viz 103 PowerPoint lecture tech video 1. There we go. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for video 2.